So welcome to Relentless Talk Radio. It is episode, geez, let me see. Let me put my glasses back. 22. I mean, it's crazy. Episode 22. And I have Pam Gaber from Gabriel's Angel. Am I saying your last name right? You know how we see each other at events and we see our names and I never know if I'm saying it right. Is it Gaber?
Yes, and you're one of the few that gets it right. I don't understand why it's Gaber, Gaber, and Grabber frequently.
Well,
Gaber,
the Michelizzi, everybody's like, I tell everybody you get 10 years to get it right, and I'm not offended, right? So,
I just say Michelle M.
Yeah, there you go. It makes it easy, right? It looks just like it sounds. So tell everybody who you are and what your company is or your nonprofit is, because you're actually at the second interview in our 13 series nonprofits that I'm interviewing for the Art of Fearless Giving Back series. So you're number 2. So tell people who you are.
We're number 2. We're number 2.
It's actually a good thing for a dog company to be, right?
I love it. I love it. Thank you for having me. As my name is Pam Gaber, and 19 years ago, I started a nonprofit called Gabriel's Angels, and it was actually named after my dog, a gentle gray Weimaraner named Gabriel. And we provide pet therapy to abused, neglected, and at-risk youth here in Arizona.
So do me a favor and tip your camera down so I can see more of your face, because all of our verbiage is blocking your beautiful
my face. Does that work?
That's awesome. Great. Cool. So it's a Weimaraner, right?
Well, you said my last name right, but the breed of dog, close. It's a Weimaraner.
Weimaraner, right?
Close. Yeah.
Close. There's a photographer who takes pictures of those dogs.
Yeah, that's William Wegman. You're correct. And Gabriel looked exactly like all those dogs are called the gray ghost. And yeah, you should see, I mean, you've probably seen these photos that William Wegman takes. They're wearing roller skates and outfits. It's pretty amazing.
They're fantastic. So every time I think of your organization, I think of those. Isn't it funny how art affects us, right?
Yeah, see, I should tell you that Gabriel's invited to the Scottsdale Museum, the art museum downtown, because William Wegman had a photo exhibit there, and they tweeted Gabe, and Gabe got to go look at all the photos.
How old was he when he passed? He
was just shy of 12. So he died in 2010. So it's probably in about 2009 or so. He was invited down, and I got to go because he doesn't drive. So.
Yeah. That's funny. He's a celebrity on his own right. So yes. 19 years, not 17. I stand corrected. I think I said 17 in an earlier post. But 19 years, that's crazy. Yeah. That's a long time.
It's super crazy because I didn't adopt a Weimaraner puppy to start a pet therapy organization because I might have adopted a Labrador or a Golden Retriever for that, but not a Weimaraner. And, I didn't mean to do it, and I'm so damn glad I did. It's been an amazing ride of helping kids learn compassion and empathy. They learn to trust. They learn how to affiliate. They learn how to self-regulate. And these are behaviors that normally our parents teach us because we have parents or caregivers that can be able to do that. And with the kids we work with, really, Michelle, they just haven't had that role model. They haven't had that person that could teach them these behaviors. So in essence, Gabriel and the other, as you can see behind me, 190 therapy dogs are the teachers of core behaviors for kids.
So that's really interesting to me. I looked at it more like, just the love that you get for an animal. But
well, let's face it, that happens too, right?
I think there's benefit, right? But
yeah, the short-term effect is a child doesn't think about mom and dad in jail. They don't think about they didn't have breakfast this morning. They're in the present moment for that therapy visit. And then what we've learned over time is the behaviors over time that are taught to these kids. I mean, Gabriel worked at Crisis Nursery for 10 years. He went every Friday for 10 years, and he grew up with a lot of these kids. And you could see them develop these behaviors that they just didn't have before. If all you know are anger and violence or protecting yourself, you're not going to feel empathy for another human being. You're not going to be able to affiliate and join in and not, start a fight. But through these animals' unconditional love, it's really amazing what happens for these children.
Oh, so why do you personally do it? Like, I've always been curious about that. Like, I get you're a good person. I've seen you out there. We've bounced off each other. You're a good person.
Sure.
And this is like 19 years, a huge effort. You got to have like a real reason.
Well, I never even had kids, so that's even a little weirder, right? When I volunteered at Crisis Nursery in early 2000, and I'd be a helper. I never volunteered. I had an opportunity to give back, so I chose Crisis Nursery. They were a shelter for 10 years and under, kids that are victims of abuse and neglect. So I would go every Friday, and in that interim, I adopted Gabriel. And the most adorable Weimaraner puppy born on the planet. And yes, I know I'm biased, but that's the way it was. And I would tell the kids stories about my puppy. And before I knew it, they were bonding with him. So I brought him to their Christmas party when he turned a year old. And by chance, that day, I can tell you those kids were different, Michelle. They were loving and kind and compassionate. And that's not the usual personality of these children. And I realized it was the presence of Gabriel that really encouraged them to be kind and to be loving. And the CEO of the nursery said, "Would you please bring him back?" And I said, "But of course, because my child's a genius, yes." And I was going to join a group of people that were visiting abused and neglected children with their dogs. And, I heard of pet therapy in hospitals and nursing homes, but there wasn't one here. And that I started it because of the need that I felt, not just Gabe, but that other dogs could really reach these kids. And I've always been an animal person. I love dogs. I love animals. Yeah. And I realized I needed to share Gabe, and the way he could connect with these kids. And, he took it very seriously. He was quite the professional.
Now, do you have a new dog now? Do you have another dog?
I don't. I lost Gabe in 2010. I had another rescued Weim I lost in 2013, and I had a Rhodesian Ridgeback I lost shortly thereafter. So I'm waiting. I'll do it. But I have a lot of dogs that come visit the Gabriel's Angels office, so I'm godmother to many.
Well, I'm always grateful when I had a couple puppies a couple years ago that I had to rehome. I just, they were Catahoulas.
Oh yeah, they're very smart.
Really wonderful, but they were the same litter. So they started to jockey for alpha position. So they really needed to be separated. So it was one of the toughest things I've ever done, actually. And I know I know it was the right thing to do for them.
Right.
Given my schedule and given their personalities and given how they were being with each other.
It was the right thing for them.
It was super hard for me to do it, but I know they're loved somewhere.
Yeah.
So you have a fundraising breakfast every year that you do.
You've been there too.
I've been many times, and I've always really enjoyed it. And I've gone with I've been at lots of people's tables. I'll probably go again next year at Lynn Moran's table. By the way, she's already pre-invited me. I'm super excited.
Yay!
So you were in business first. Do you think that being a business person has kind of helped you to have more successful fundraising experience?
I would say that my business backgrounds in corporate America helps me run this organization as a business, because there's systems that have to be in place. There's org charts. There's things that have to happen from a business perspective. There's financial statements. There's all of those things enabled me to run this as a business. And what I will say, that I was in sales and marketing. I ran our animal health division for the company, and sales is not philanthropy. I know a lot of us in the for-profit world thinks, oh, it's just sales. But I can tell you that asking for money is deeply personal. And I had to teach myself through mentors how to ask for help and not feel like I was asking for me. I mean, sometimes it would just really creep me out. Like, I'm asking for me. Well, I'm not. When I finally understood that I'm asking for those little people, I'm asking for those little faces, those little innocent faces. I got over that quickly, and I stumbled the first couple years. I can ask all day long. I also believe it's a privilege to invest in the nonprofit community. I look at it as an investment, not a donation. And you're investing in your community, you're investing in Gabriel's Angels, and you're helping us reach 15,000 at-risk kids a year. So I've certainly, sometimes this for-profit people take it as a sales, like I have to close this person. And it's all about relationships.
Right.
And philanthropy is when they're ready and when they've seen, they're going to give. If it's their thing. I mean, people can't give to everything, and I totally understand that. But you've been to our breakfast. You see how we position the stories and the kids and the dogs.
I always bring tissues with me, and I've noticed that you put them on the table. Super smart, because all the stories are so powerful.
Yeah.
Just the combination of dogs and kids is just lethal. You're going to cry at some point, and of course.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know what's coming, and I cry, so I'm not exactly good.
And, people sometimes will say to me with this project that I do, like, Michelle, do the charities pay you in advance for this? And I said no, because there's lots of ways you can give, and
right.
Time, talent, or treasure, right? So
absolutely.
I'm giving my time and my talent with the project, and I'm hoping at the tail end there's a little treasure involved for both the.
There always is, Michelle, because I think. Yeah, there's that circle of paying it forward and giving back. So Thank you for the opportunity.
But I absolutely believe that giving is a privilege. It's a prerequisite of being in business and actually being a human being. I mean, you can't expect to kind of have a successful life if you're not giving back and paying it forward. So to me, it's a big deal. So what do you think your biggest lesson has been that you've learned through the creation of your organization? Because 19 years is you're going to be 20 years old next year. I mean, you're 2 decades. I mean, that's a big deal. What's the biggest lesson you think?
Well, first of all, I was only 10 when I started. Kidding.
I got it. Yeah. It was fantastic for 12. Yeah.
I think it's the sustainability piece that has been the most intriguing for me, because the resource engine in a for-profit is very different than a nonprofit. Because in a for-profit, generally, it's a good or a service that's exchanged, and the money's exchanged, and that's how it works. In the nonprofit arena, it's all about how do you really have someone give from their heart and then be super jazzed about helping and leaving the community a better place. And so I think that it's been very intriguing, like a puzzle for me. We can have years where we just kick it, and people will say to me, "What'd you do different?" I'm like, "Nothing." And then we have years we don't kick it so well. What'd you do different? Nothing. We try to say life happens in 12-month increments, right? A fiscal year. That's why I think I get along so well with you, Michelle. Life doesn't happen in 12-month increments. Life could be 6 months, could be 2 years, could be 1 year. And I think that understanding that is such a valuable lesson for me, to really grasp that you just keep doing the right thing, and then like people like you come to us. I'm like, what did I do? I met Michelle. We've connected a few times over the years, and look at us now. So you never know.
It was fun. We met 10 years ago at a woman's stock sale. I mean, and you and Deborah Bateman and Linda Harold.
Yes.
I knew there'd eventually be something I could do with all of you. Deborah, I worked with last year, and Linda and I worked on the film festival together. So there's always something you can do together, and that's what networking about. You never know when you're going to.
You never know.
You just build relationships, right? So tell us a little bit about the state of children's welfare in Arizona, because right now it's a big deal, right?
I wish I had better news for all of us, but Arizona ranks 45th in the nation in child well-being, and I say that's 5th worst. So we have to do something from a public policy standpoint, down at the Capitol, lobbying and advocating for children. We have a very robust public policy committee where we go down, we speak with our lawmakers, and kids are bipartisan. They're bipartisan. And why we as a state don't fund more prevention services will always be a mystery to me.
Right.
I like lower taxes as much as anybody else, and I know many business owners that feel the same way, but not at the expense of kids. That if we can prevent, I don't want to see the kids we're seeing now. So what do we do to help prevent that from occurring? And it's intervening and with the families, helping parents be good parents. There are models across the country, primarily in the Northeast, where they've done it right. The states that take care of their children, they're going to be us someday. I mean, they're going to be entrepreneurs, right? They're going to be doctors. They're going to be teachers. And why we don't think that's as important as other things is perplexing. Yet the only way we're going to get things done is by being civil and going down and talking to the lawmakers, and they'll sometimes have to sell one thing to get another. And when kids come on the short end of the stick, it makes me not very happy about politics here in our state. But it is what it is, and we're not going to give up. We just make sure that we're down there advocating. We had 3 bills that we were advocating for. 2 were passed in the budget late last night, and the 1 didn't make it, but we're going to keep trying. So yay.
Well, I appreciate what you do so much. I appreciate you as a strong woman in our community that keeps on stepping up. If somebody wanted to donate to you guys, how would they find you?
Well, they can find us obviously on the web, gabrielsangels.org. That's the same handle for our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. Our phone number, I'm going to shout it out because you never know. People may actually use a landline, but
we got to out, right?
Yeah, right. 602-266-0875. There's volunteer opportunities as well. We have a board of directors, steering committee. We have an event committee for Salute, which is our wine event that's coming up in early October. That's more on the fancy side, and the breakfast is more of a mission-based event. We've got Tammy Butcher, who's the wife of the Diamondbacks pitching coach, is our chair, along with Carrie Yatowski. So we've got some big things happening this year. And my CFO and I were talking the other day, and he goes, "This is going to be a good year." I go, "I feel it too." So we're happy about that.
Well, I'm the Diamondbacks liaison is like huge. So do me a favor, make sure you tag me in all those events so I can share them and shout it out for you.
Okay, we'll do.
We'll keep our fingers crossed that you'll be one of the 3 that I get to vote. The people get to vote. So I'll be interviewing charities until August 13th, and then from the 13th to the 20th, folks vote, and then I'll keep you posted. Now,
please do, Michelle.
This video will be available via YouTube, so please do share it.
I will.
And podcast probably next week. So.
Right. Thank you for everything, my friend.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.